Happy lunchtime, happy Friday. I'm back. I'm feeling better. Thank you very much. Thank you for Adam to looking after everything whilst I've been on my sick bed. So, yeah, hi. Fun time Friday. So Friday, we're here on a Friday doing a bit of a update. So hopefully, bear with us and we'll go through all of this with you. There's quite a lot to go through, isn't there?
Yeah, there's loads. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with that then? Do you want to start with?
Fun Time Friday.
Yeah,
Fun Time
let's
Friday is this week. We've got these little guys. Oh, and by the way, we've got it on Instagram and we're doing Facebook at the same time, so hopefully it's not too confusing for everyone. So these are a cute little toy that we've got as the Fun Time Friday this week. We've been doing the treat boxes and we're not getting as many people entering, so we thought we'll jazz it up a bit, bring in a cute little toy. We obviously sell these anyway, but you know, oh, dogs love it. We might get a bit annoyed with it, but hey, enter, share it with your friends if you can, and you can enter twice as well because you've got the chance to do it on our Facebook page and on Instagram as well. So Fun Time Friday. The link is on the pages, so hopefully you'll be able to see that and we can put it in the comments later anyway. Yes, thank you. I am feeling better. Thank you.
Where did you see that?
There's a little comment.
Oh, gotcha.
That's Louise. Okay, so we've got some interesting. We've had some interesting negotiations in the past couple of weeks, and we have got. We've got some news. So what we've managed to do.
I think that's the bit that we're going to go onto that later on, aren't we, in the video about how we've been able to pass some savings on. We're not discounting the products, so that's not something that we want to do, but we have been able to, through good negotiations, being able to secure some price drops. And what we've wanted to do here at Nurturing by Nature is want to pass them on to you, our community. So
because that doesn't really happen at the moment, does it? And these are honest reductions to us, so we're passing this on. So we're passing on what we can. Okay, so the negotiations have been with our free range chicken supplier. Now we really love the products that he produces for us, but unfortunately his prices were creeping up. So,
and rightly so.
Yeah, I know the costs of everything have gone up, but it got to a point where it was crunch time. So he's agreed a new price for us, and we brought the prices back down for you. So everyone, I'm going to start with these. These are the chicken necks. I'm sure everyone's familiar with these. They come in a kilo bag. They are frozen, but they're quite easy to break apart, so you can just take out one at a time. These chicken necks were $2.99, and we've got a 50p per kilo reduction now, and that will stay at $2.49, whilst his prices are like this, and you get about 16 in a pack.
Oh, a bit 16? More than that, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you can see the theme is going to be free range. But we know that these chicken necks that we've got, they're much bigger than the standard chicken necks you can get. So they're great for a meal for a cat. You could even do it in half for a cat, couldn't you? The cat could have a half of one of those.
They're about the same size as an iPhone.
Yeah, so they're pretty big. They're a good size. And the normal standard chicken that you get probably only around about that big. So we know that these are really good quality.
I think the other thing that we've been to the farm as well, so yeah, we've actually probably not seen those chickens, but we have seen his processes and
yeah, we know
understand.
We know the free range chickens get a little bit more time to live. Sounds horrific, doesn't it? But they do. They get twice as long to live as the standard chickens that you might get in the supermarkets.
I think it was a fascinating visit, but the good thing that we found out that we didn't really know was he puts the feeders and the water troughs just above head height when the chickens are sat down, so that encourages the chickens to have to stand up and move about, which is something, a little thing, but it makes a huge difference to the quality of meat in especially the leg muscles.
Yeah, encourages her to move around. Chickens are naturally inquisitive and cute little animals anyway, but they naturally, you know, they're I think my son has informed us they are one of the living relatives of a dinosaur, so you know they are quite good fun. But yeah, they want to be doing so. So every animal really needs stimulation, and so that's what we've got. You know, our free range chicken. We feel confident that the free range products that we've got they live their best life whilst they're living. They're given what they're needed. They're not treated with hormones. They're not treated with anything they don't need to be treated. They get good food. And these chickens that we get in, they end up in Harrods and an Ocado, so they're good quality. You know, we don't get those parts. So the second bit we've got is the wings. That's the chicken wings, free range chicken wings, and they have got the 3 joints on them. They're the 3 jointed wings, so you've got the bigger wing on there. So they would be a nice lunchtime meal for maybe like a Jack Russell, or we could also give them to the cat. You
Great for cats.
debone them for the cat if your cat's fussy like Fudge. It doesn't eat the meat. He eats the chicken necks, but he doesn't like the harder bone in the wing. So you could always debone them. So these are the free range chicken wings, a kilo bag. They're now $2.99, so you save a whole £1 on those. We pass that on to you, £1 off of the price per kilo, so that's gone straight on to you. So also, last thing in the bone section.
Can we just stop? Sorry. Are you sure it's not crocodiles that are related to dinosaurs?
I don't know. You ask Bodie.
Okay.
Okay. And these are the drumsticks. So these are the free range chicken drumsticks. A good size, decent size pieces. 1, 2, 3. About 8 or 9 per kilo. And these have also been reduced by £1 a kilo, so they're now $2.99 a kilo. Really lovely meaty legs. Good source of taurine. So if you're looking for taurine for your cats, good source of taurine. Cats need taurine found in muscle meat, so using the darker meats that you have, that's what that will give you. So those are 3 kilo bags that you can save for the free range products. And as we get more products through the system, because we can only make species at a time, we don't mix them, we will continue to address more products as we go. But we have done the lamb, some of the lamb minces this week. So we've got the free range chicken and lamb. You've got free range chicken and lamb offal, free range chicken and lamb liver. They've also all had a reduction in price. The chicken and lamb liver is the biggest. That one's gone down by 70p a kilo.
Wow,
70p for 500 grams. And in case you're not sure what our meats look like, these are the 500 gram meats that we do. Okay? And these are all the mixes. And you'll get, when you have the offal mixes and the liver, you're only going to have 5% of the offal or the liver in there, so you're not going to overdo it for your pet. And then when you have something like the lamb, this is the chicken and lamb mince, they put up to 30% of lamb meat in with the chicken. Okay, there's a good mix.
Yeah, amazing.
And the mince isn't. Some people will ask, is it just chicken carcasses that we mince in there? But it's not. We mince the wings, the bones. There's meat that goes into it, and with the carcasses as well. So you get a good mixture. So it's not a really heavy, bony mince.
Yes, brilliant. I think if you see the meat content that is actually on these bones, that gives a good example of why the minces are so meaty, which is good. Right. What else? I've got an update. I've got a question that's related to the packaging, but we can move into that in a minute.
Pin chops. Now these aren't free range. These are just the lamb. These are lamb pin chops. We've got 2 in a pack, and they were $2.49 for the pack, and now they're $2.19. And I'll open it up so you can see what they look like. We bag them so they don't leak. And then basically
a great picture on the website.
There is a good picture on the website. It's the tail area. There's a load of meat here, and you've got bone on here. So these would be suitable to give to a smaller dog, small to medium sized dog, one that's not going to be able to swallow that in one go. So you want to make, don't give that to a large breed dog, but so it's perfectly suitable for a smaller breed dog. Jack Russells, other types of terriers, maybe some spaniels.
Would a Jack Russell eat all of that?
Jack Russell would potentially eat all of it over time, yeah.
Okay. How much do they weigh roughly? We took in the region of about 200 grams. A bit more.
Probably a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Human weighing
Stop.
scales.
Okay. We've got Paul's goodie bag as well.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
I've got some. I've got questions after.
Okay.
But yeah, go
So
for
the
it.
other thing we've got at the moment, which I've done the maths on this, and it doesn't really make sense. So I'm going to redo the maths on this. So this weekend, these are Paul's goodie bags, and they are $8.50 or $8.99. So you get tripe sticks. You get
Is that
dried
your
sprats.
maths or Paul's maths?
Well, Paul's maths, I think.
Because they were $7.50 in the shop.
Were they?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Is that good for your maths or bad for your maths?
Terrible. The link is in the Facebook, and I will double check and put in the comments exactly how much they are. But
They're $7.50.
no, $7.50. There we go, $7.50. So you get
Get them before your maths increase, eh?
yeah. And they're in store. Aren't they?
Yeah, they're brilliant. They're
So-
fantastic.
We appreciate that Paul's put these together in the shop. And he just wanted to improve everybody's customer experience in stores. So Paul runs the shop in Upton for us.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Okay, so you've got some questions.
Yeah, I've got some questions. Not maths related, you'll be pleased to know.
Thanks.
But so I think leading on from Paul's treat bag, I think that's a great example of the autonomy that we are looking to give our teams, and yeah, it's also a great place to start regarding some of the questions that I've got, and that is some of the questions that we've got back in from the feedback that we've been asking for is, how come some things are a little bit different in one store to another store, and that's a great example. We are giving our teams full autonomy to go out and run the stores for their customers and their communities that they see day in, day out, and in doing so across 3 sites and online, we're going to get some things wrong inevitably. Obviously by the maths, I guess we've got some things wrong, but it's not about that. It's about giving things a go that are fit in line with our values. So our teams have got full autonomy to do anything that they wish to do that fits in line with current situations within the business. So what we are allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do regarding our APHA license, and then also the heritage and the values that we've got. So yeah, bear with us, we're not perfect, and something that we never ever proclaim to be, but we are here. So if you've got any problems, give us a call.
Yes, absolutely. And I really appreciate the feedback that we received. And I think my email requested bad feedback, but so many of you have sent us nice feedback too. And that's always been, everything gets shared with the teams and it all gets passed on. So thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah, we are really a family business. So yeah, goes far and wide, our communications inside the business. So thank you. Right. So me and Emma been together for 20.
Don't even go there.
Okay, a while, and we have conversations clearly about work and about things every week, as you do. So having done a couple of Facebook Live videos, I thought that we could just do this one together, and then that sparked some conversation. So Emma's got the packaging bits covered, and the goodies, and the FaceTime, not the FaceTime, Fun Time Friday bits covered. So if you are still around, we thought we would go on to some of the other bits that it makes us who we are as a business.
Okay.
Alright? So Emma doesn't know these questions are coming. Okay, so one thing hit home quite hard just recently, and that's the emotional attachment of having a pet. So in our circumstances, we've grown up with dogs, haven't we, both of us?
Yeah,
And
Mum's
then-
got dogs. Your mum had.
Yeah, mum's had dogs, and then when we moved in together in a flat, that we had a cat, didn't we, Pip? You might have seen Pip on some of the early posts and the early information that we sent out, and just recently we have inherited
Fudge.
Fudge.
Yes.
So Fudge is the
The lady downstairs passed away, and we took him on because then he was already rehome. She'd taken him on from someone else, and he just didn't need to be passed on again. So the kids quite liked him, and he quite often came and joined us in the garden if we were in the garden. So we took Fudge on as well, and he's a cool cat. He's all right. He doesn't really cause any trouble. It's a bit difficult to get him onto raw food, but we got there eventually. And he doesn't always have raw, and his favourite food is a chick. So he has a chick quite often. He enjoys those, and then he has raw food, and he also will eat some of the pouches. But I don't give him dried food. But yeah, I'd rather he ate than didn't eat at all.
So the question I was going to ask then was, what's the emotional journey been like in the last couple of weeks since we've returned from holiday with Fudge, a cat who's just recently come into our world?
Yeah, I think we've had Fudge has been in our lives since October, and the boys absolutely love him, and he's been quite a cool, chilled out cat, and he comes in and has a good scratch and a snooze. He doesn't stay overnight, doesn't like to. We went on holiday, which he was miffed about, and when we got back, we saw him.
He was looked after every
Oh
day.
yeah, he wasn't left alone. We didn't leave him to fend for himself for the holiday time, but he got when we got back, he's disappeared. He
turned up he turned up the first day that we were back.
He turned up to sort of make sure we were home, and then he's gone elsewhere.
Protesting.
Yeah, like a protest. So yeah, it's really sad. He has come back, and we've seen him a few times in that, but for about 3 weeks we saw him maybe once a week, and I knew he was being fed elsewhere because he was sick. He was sick on the carpet, and brought up a lot of food that we don't feed, so I knew he was being fed elsewhere, and that's quite tough, isn't it? Because he's not someone else's cat. We've taken him on, so I put a message on the local Facebook page to see if anyone had seen him, and then he turned up, and now he's sporting a rather fetching paper collar saying, "Please do not feed me whilst I get a collar for him." And he's been back 2 days in a row.
So
now,
why
hasn't he?
have you done that? Why have you put a paper collar on?
Well, to hopefully let somebody know that he is loved.
Yeah.
He is microchipped anyway. To let somebody know that he's loved, and just hopefully ask them politely not to feed him.
So this is
Because he won't come home if he's getting the goods elsewhere. He's not turning up.
No, but this is a great. I think one of, if there is one thing that we do really badly, is we take a lot of things for granted. So if you are if you do own a cat, these are experiences that you're able to share.
Yeah.
So you came out with a piece of paper yesterday and said, what are you doing this for? And you went, oh, it's a great way to get a message to wherever Fudge is going, and that's a great way to do it. So yeah, I just think it was a really, first of all, the emotional side that we all suffered. So we are human, and it's not particularly great, is it? And then secondly, what actions have you been taking to try and not win Fudge back, but ultimately.
I don't know. I was out at 6 o'clock this morning, giving him a brush and a groom, because I didn't really want him to. I want him to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I know, but these are kind of actions. You haven't picked him up, put him in a cage,
No.
trapped him in a
That's
room.
not fair, is it?
No, I get. We understand that it's not fair, but what you've gone about is trying to win him back by giving him a groom that he likes.
Yeah.
Not putting him under pressure. You try to communicate to potentially wherever else where the other house that he's going to, you know, and you know, what's the feedback? So you had a message, direct message from Facebook, somebody on Facebook.
Yeah,
didn't you,
people.
to say,
It's nice. People were looking out for him. Had a few messages to say hope you find him, and someone sent a direct message saying, "Is this your cat? He's been trapped in a garage for over the weekend." But it wasn't Fudge. But I do appreciate that someone bothered, for sure.
yeah, so cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think I think it's really really cool, to be honest. And then this is a question that came up when we were talking about some of our emails that we're now sending out to everyone who orders from us, and that was about how we can replicate the in-store experience but online.
Yeah. So when you come in store, you
What-
see a person, don't you? You get greeted. You quite often bring your pet in. No, you can't do that online. But we wanted to be able to recreate a better experience for people that are ordering online that aren't coming in store. So that's wherever you are in the country.
So I think that's like that's the overall of it. But why was it's because we recognise the emotions of and how difficult it sometimes feels for us to be making this switch,
Yeah.
didn't we? So your mum ages ago had textbooks and textbooks and textbooks, and Fred, who was sick with cancer, and that was kind of like the life-changing moment that she said, I've got to make a change, I've got to do something. And often a health scare, sadly,
Triggers it.
triggers
Yeah.
things. But now what we're seeing is that people coming into us and going, oh, my friend's dog looks so good, and they say, oh, you need to go and speak to these guys and change the diet, and we recognise that, don't we? But you know, can you just what's some of the emotions that you might think you might feel?
I think it's overwhelming, isn't it? You're just about to. I can tell you that when my mum started doing it, she's like told. They said, "Oh, just chuck him a raw bone, give him a chicken wing, he'll be all right." And she thought, "Well, if I do that, I'm going to kill him." So.
And that was from a locum vet from New Zealand who there was a different culture.
Yeah.
He'd come from a different culture around how he fed the animals on the farm, and you know the working stock that he was predominantly working with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really interesting where to understand like the backgrounds that help us make some of the decisions that we do.
Yeah. So it's scary. It's overwhelming. Some people, it makes sense as well. That's the other thing, isn't it? It makes sense. You know, oh, well, actually, yeah, dogs can eat meat. They've got those sharp, pointy teeth. Okay, they can't cook, so biscuits are out, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, but it's convenience as well. That's the other thing. You can't have half a lamb sitting in your freezer. It's not. We don't have that sort of space. So we try and create a product that's easier for you to use at home, but also replicates the raw diet. Well, it is the raw diet,
Yeah.
but it replicates an easier way of feeding the food, but also gives you the whole animal over time.
Perfect. Yeah, and also what we've designed internally is a structure that allows all of our teams to have access to expert knowledge and advice, isn't it? Be it with your mum, who's available on the phone, or at Westmoor sometimes.
Absolutely.
My
Yeah.
mum's, who's always they do training evenings for our teams, don't they? Once or twice a month. So if there's any problem or any concern around making a switch to raw, or even if you're an experienced raw feeder, then we have got the expertise and the knowledge on site. And I think
the other thing to say is we've recognised that's missing from the website as well. So we want to do something better. So bringing that in is what we're trying to do to be better.
Yeah.
And I get that not everyone wants phone calls, but we are making a few phone calls around. Not to be nosy or rude, just to make sure that you're happy with the food and encourage, hold your hand a bit if you need it. So there's a lot of people that might not be aware of what products we've got available.
Yeah.
They might not be quite sure how to go about feeding it. We do try and point you in the right direction, the feeding guides. And also, the other thing is, our phone lines are open. So even if you've been feeding raw for 10 years and you've got a question about something, you can get in touch with us. You know, we're quite friendly, and we have got people on the phone, and we don't expect you to fill out a form on the computer and then get back to us. It's nice to be able to just make a phone call during office hours and get an answer. And if you don't get through, you can leave a message and we'll ring you back.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, that's right. So I've just noticed here that Luna's said about the cats going missing, that lots of other people do end up feeding cats. So putting a note on the collar is a good idea.
Told you it was. It was brilliant.
They apparently also sell collars you can get that say do not feed. Oh yeah, that's a good point, because other people may not be aware of any food intolerances or allergies, or even, I suppose, medications as well. So,
And the cats can't tell you.
absolutely not. So yeah, it's good idea. So that's what I did. Put a paper collar on, and I will get a proper collar. Just haven't got around to it.
It's alright. It's okay. Not here to judge.
We've got a pet shop.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I've got access to them.
So that's about.
Right, cool.
I think that's it. So we've just got the free range products. So reiterating.
That might be it for you. You've got some more questions.
Okay.
Okay. Right, last question. So that was all about, you know, the emotions and that we appreciate and we understand. The last thing is, I think it was a conversation we had this week about my dog. I haven't got a dog, but it was a customer's dog. He stopped eating his food.
Oh no, it was a yeah.
So, and I thought that was a really good point. So, and again, areas for you to absolutely excel and share your expertise around
It was an Instagram
was it?
chat. So it was Jack
Was it
Russell
from the
Terrier.
customer?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jack
great.
Russell Terrier.
Got that bit right.
New customer, lovely dog. Sent a message, shared a picture. So I sent a message and said thank you, and hope you're getting on alright with the food. And just said he's a bit more fussy. So I only fed him half the food, which is perfect because a smaller dog doesn't need quite such a big meal anyway. Then put the rest in the fridge and then give it back the next day. And the other thing I mentioned was the smaller breeds, especially terriers. They tend to just like to eat once a day. In my experience of people giving me feedback in the shop. So not to worry if your little dog doesn't eat quite as much. And she said, oh no, he only eats once a day. So just kind of affirmed what I said.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's also hotter, isn't it, out there?
Yeah.
Although we've had some rain the last few days, but
Still warm.
temperature affects things as well. So brilliant.
Okay, is that it now?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it.
So we've got the offers. Did you see them? If not, I'm going to put them on the comments anyway.
No, it's not it. Packaging. There is an absolute brilliant blog coming out on
on the Buzz Diary.
Monday, Tuesday, potentially sometime next week, about packaging. So not only this, but yeah, okay. About this as well.
Why we just use this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just quickly, we know that this packaging is not exactly the most desirable. You wouldn't see it in the supermarket.
No. Retailers hate it.
Yeah, we understand that. But for us, where we would like to spend our money is on the ingredients. That's the absolute key for us, is spending money on the parts of our product that actually are consumed rather than the bits that go in the bin. So we make no apologies for that, really. It's what our belief is. Did you know this is 2% product? The rest of it is air. You know that?
No.
It's coming out in the blog next week.
Cool. Okay. I will share it when it comes out.
Yeah, do.
Cool. Right. So Fun Time Friday. Don't forget these. One each. One of these could be yours.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's it. Take a look. I'll put the links through, and then also Paul's goodie bag. Right, this weekend it's going to stay at the price it is on the website and in store, but probably next week it will be adjusted. So
if people buy lots of them, they'll keep them at the same price.
Okay. All right then. Cool. Okay, so that's about it really. You know, you can always get in touch by the phone or send us a message. Facebook and Instagram aren't the quickest way to get back to you, but we'll do our best.
Yep.
The office teams aren't in on the weekend, so it might not get picked up until Monday.
Brilliant.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great weekend.